Live Live Podcast with your host, Jose Arqueta. Live Live Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy Jose. Welcome back to another episode. If you guys are wondering where I'm recording from, I'm actually recording from the comfort of my home. That's right. So when I'm not at the studio with the guys working on magic, I'm at home working my own magic. Ora sas. Oh no, wrong song. Ooh, wrong song. I have another mixer at home, so kind of like the whole keyboard is different, but I think it's this one. Shit, which one is? Oh. There you go. There it is. Took me a while, but I found it. Anyways, I'm a big Rode fan, guys. All my equipment is Rode. I got these new mics. They're all Rodes, and I love them. Dude, the only thing that's not Rode is my headphones. I got the Panasonic DJ ones. Shout out to DJ Booth for hooking me up with those. But anyways, I'm recording from home because, like I said, I got to be consistent, and I got to keep dropping an episode, guys. So with that being said, let's move forward. I didn't put the mic right here a little bit more closer. Let's move forward with the situation. So I never had a chance to talk to you guys a little bit about how I came to relaunching my podcast, right? Some of you guys know I used to be part of Backroad Journey Podcast with Junior. Junior was like the main host. He was the one who created Backroad Journey Podcast with his cousin Arturo. Excuse me. Great individuals, both of them, great guys. And I actually always wanted to do a podcast, but I never decided to take the next step. I always wanted to do it with somebody. I never wanted to do it alone. I always wanted to have somebody with me, right? And I couldn't get nobody to do it with me. And unfortunately, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I went to DJ Booth. I bought all the mixer. I bought everything, the mics. And I was trying to like figure it out how to do it. And it was hard because it's a learning experience. It's not as easy like everybody thinks it is. So, yeah, it was really difficult. So anyways, one of my good friends told me that he came out on a podcast of his cousin and that it would have been a good idea for me to be on his show, that he told him about me. And I was like, sure, I'll be on his podcast. Junior reached out to me, came out on the podcast, it was an amazing podcast. And after that, I was asked by him if I was willing to be the host because his cousin was going to venture off to a full-time job position, and he wanted him to focus on that. And so I jumped on board right away, because his vision was something that I was looking into. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, what direction I wanted to go, what kind of podcasts I wanted to do. So I kind of like what they were doing, and that was something that I wanted to do. So I was like, you know what? His vision aligns with my vision, so let's go ahead and move forward. So yeah, we went ahead and linked up, and you know what? Man, it took off, man. And I mean, we were asked to be MCs for El Niño. It was a phenomenal opportunity that we got. I saw that podcast was going somewhere. But, when two individuals are not in the same vision, at the end of the day, it's not going to work out. And I feel like, that kind of happened towards us because I saw the potential of that podcast. I saw the value that podcast had, but it's just, I feel like something always kept us away from peaking, and moving forward, keep scaling that mountain. And at the end of the day, my boy Junior, his schedule got crazy with work, and, he serves in the reserves for the Navy. So it was just getting hard. And, I wish I would have continued doing it. I really liked that name, Backroad Journey Podcast. I really liked what we had. Everything was established. I could have just kept it running. And whenever he will be ready, his seat will be there for him. But, fortunately, things happen for a reason. And he decided to pull the plug, and I had to be okay with it and move forward, and eventually I ended up getting my own equipment, and I started my own podcast. And it was not easy because when I first started, I was like, what direction am I going to go? because I was still hoping that we were gonna get back together and relaunch Backroad Journey Podcast like season 5, but I was hoping to that hope. I was holding on to that hope that I was like, okay, we're gonna as soon as he gets everything settled with the schedule and everything, we're gonna dive in back in, and then I was waiting, so I was kind of like messing around, joking around with my podcast. I had my compa Diego as a producer. We were getting some noise. We were making some noise, but not as big as we had on Backroad Journey Podcast. Plus, we had no direction of where the podcast was going. I had no direction. I had no vision, But again, I was holding on to the like, okay, Backroad Journey Podcast is gonna come back, and we're gonna link up, and we're gonna do this again, right? But unfortunately, it didn't. Excuse me, it didn't. It didn't. Sorry, guys. I got to text somebody real quick. Sorry. I'm texting from my Apple Watch. Sorry. So, anyways, yeah. So, I was holding on to that hope that we were gonna link up again, but unfortunately, I got a letter. I got hit up on my email that somebody else had another round with Jose. Obviously there's a million of Jose's, and I couldn't continue with that name. So I kind of, I feel like that was for the best because I feel like I had no direction of where the podcast was going. And so it kind of worked out. So I took some steps back and I was like, I got to relaunch it again. I got to do it again. So came out with another name, Straight Freedom Podcast. Had a guest. And it's just, again, I was holding on to the hope, that I was going to get back on Backroad Journey Podcast because, I'm not going to lie, guys. We had something great, phenomenal, and I like the platform that we already had, and we just had to pick up from where we left off, and we had, just get on the same page and move forward, right? But, it didn't never happen, and so I just got lazy with it. I didn't like the direction I was going, and my producer, when we started recording, it happened so quick that he had to go back. He travels from work, seasonal, so he had to move back. So it was kind of hard to do it without him. So I started getting involved with my wife's podcast. I've always told my wife that she will be a phenomenal person to do a podcast, and she decided to do it. And I started producing her podcast. Her name of her podcast is Brunch con Amigas, with her friend Christina. And I started producing that podcast, and I always had that behind my head, like I could do this, I should get doing mine, I should do mine. But then again, I didn't know where to start, what direction to go. So I was like, man, what am I gonna do? So while having a good year and a half recording the girls podcast, seeing them enjoy how interact with guests and their topics, girly topics, and being behind the scenes, I was getting more hungrier to do this podcast, but I just didn't know what direction I wanted to take it, right? I know that I wanted to do more than just record audio. I wanted to do video as well, right? But it's really difficult and hard to do it. So, my wife is going to school. Her friend is going to school to get her master's. So, work, schoolwork, classes, it takes a toll on you guys. So they decided to take some break. They haven't recorded some episodes because of school and being busy with life. And that I decided to take advantage and say, fuck it, let's do this. I'm going to do my podcast. So I reached out to somebody that used to do the logos for us in Backroad Journey Podcast for Junior, and did phenomenal logos. I don't know if you guys remember, the Mario Brothers one, the retro one, and all the logos that he did. They were fucking amazing. And I reached out to him. He did the one for the back, another round with Jose, and then added Diego for the producer. Those covers were fucking phenomenal. And I reached out to him. We were going back and forth. He was not understanding my vision. And I was kind of getting frustrated because he was not getting it what I want him to portray as my cover for my podcast. Because at the end of the day, it represents me. It represents what I believe and what I'm going to share, what I'm going to do moving forward. So at that time, I met somebody, really, really good person that became a good friend of mine. His name is RC. He did my website for my business. He's done a lot for me, running ads and all that stuff. And I told him, hey, man, I'm thinking about relaunching my podcast. Can you do me a logo? Can you mess around with it, And sure, man. He came out with the logo that you guys see now, and I love that logo. And I was like, I'm trying to come up with the name, bro. I'm not good with names. Anyway, you can help me out. And he's all like, I always heard you say live life. You gotta live life to the fullest on your social media. Why don't you just do that? Use live life because that defines you. And I was like, you're right. So I feel blessed because I feel like he set in stone that should be your name. He re-clarified me that should be your name, and I agree with them 100%. So I went with the Live Life podcast. I use the logo now, that you guys see now, and I was also had somebody else working on an intro song for me, but I feel like that person just took my money and ran, and never delivered until this day hasn't delivered. So I pray. I'm not trying to press religion to you guys, but I like to pray a lot, and when I do, I ask God for guidance, right? And I have a good friend named Jerry Puga. He's a DJ, and I asked him, "Hey, bro, would you be interested in doing that intro song for me for my podcast?" He did a mix first. We didn't. I told him it was nice, but it was not. I wanted more, more, more. And after a while, he got it, dude. And man, I love that intro. And I'm glad he got it out. He gave it to me quick because I was able to add it to this last episode that I did. And man, I love that intro. Shout out to Jerry. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. But I before that, it took me a while to get that logo. It took me a while to even get an intro song. So I was like, clock is ticking. I gotta do something. Next time, it's gonna be October, November, and I'm not gonna even relaunch my podcast. I gotta go out with the bang this year at least. So, again, I saw this individual at the gym. I always see him in the morning, and I was like, you know what? I want him to be my first guest on the relaunch of my podcast. And yeah, I hit up Aaron Palacios, owner of Precision Construction and Precision Estimating. A great, phenomenal guy, awesome guy, really, really down to earth. I got to meet him when we coached together football for the Alsa Eagles. And, I was like, man, I want to hear his story. And his story was phenomenal, growing up from a small city, Castroville, to facing adversity and getting to where he's at right now. It's a phenomenal story, and that set the tone for the rest of the episodes. Obviously, the second episode that I did it on my truck. Sound didn't sound too good, but you know what? And I remember one time I was listening to Theo Von, and Theo Von was like, "Man, I knew I had to be consistent in my podcast. Just like Rogan. Rogan always said, you got to be consistent. He's like, I'm a dummy. If I could do it, anybody else could do it." And hearing Joe Rogan for the past 6 years, when he started his podcast, well, obviously more than that, but when I started hearing to him, I was like, if he could do it, I could do it. And the fact that he always said that, just do it, be consistent, be consistent, be consistent, drop one, drop one, drop one, drop one. Until this day, he doesn't have this amazing production crew. He has one guy that does everything, young Jamie, and yet he's getting phenomenal views and everything. It's just the way you portray yourself and the way you involve yourself and the way you carry yourself that people relate to that. And I was like, that's me. There's a saying, there's nothing wrong but being a copycat as long as you're copying the right cat, right? But anyways, Theo Von's another comedian that hey, you should start a podcast. And I remember one time he said that he was in a comedy show, he was struggling and financially, and he's like, I gotta do this podcast. I gotta do this podcast. And he was recording on his car before he went into a show. And he was in a parking lot. He was recording from his phone. And it was audio only. And I was just like, you know what? I gotta fucking record. I gotta record. Because I already had this high from the first episode. I was like, I need another one. But I just, I couldn't get certain date set for my guests and for my sponsors so we could record, So I ended up doing 15-minute one or 10-minute one, 12-minute one. I can't forget how many minutes it was in my truck on my way home. And, I didn't get that many listeners to that one, but it's okay. It's just being consistent, right? But the first one I did got a good amount of engagement. And I got a lot of people that started looking at me right away in a different perspective view. and I got a lot of DMs. I got a lot of people reaching out, and it opened a whole door for me that I was just like, whoa, that I didn't get this door when I was with Backroad Journey Podcast. But if I could imagine, if I would have got this door that opened to me when I was Backroad Journey Podcast, I believe that I have a strong feeling that Backroad Journey Podcast right now would have been somewhere. We would have been up there with some of the heavy hitters, right? But again, didn't happen. So yeah, I mean, I did the second episode, and then where I talk about how I went my first football game with my boy Ivan, boy Joe. Raider game, my first Raider game in Vegas, because obviously I've been to so many games in Oakland. It's around the corner from where I live. Well, not around the corner, but it's close by. And it was a phenomenal game, and I just kept going, and it's just being consistent and remembering Joe Rogan, remembering Theo Vaughn saying you gotta be consistent. I did that episode, and obviously the second episode I had Drew Superfly and Andres, amazing father and son duo, amazing story. Right now, out of all the episodes that I have, that one's my number one. They have a good support system, a lot of friends, and man, that episode was amazing. Shout out to Juan Avila for the amazing photographies that he did, those shots that he did for him. That I know Drew Superfly is going to use him for his next fight as a poster, and get us in there as sponsors for what we did for him. And great, phenomenal people, man. I mean, I'm all about to helping people. We gotta help each other out, and I saw that as an opportunity to give them more promotion, give them more opportunity out there and do some collaboration with phenomenal individuals like LC1 Productions and Juan Avila, that they see the value on that young kid, and they see that, what, let's collaborate, and that's amazing that you're able to work with certain individuals like that you could feel, you could trust, and that's what I'm all about. If I could help you elevate yourself in some way or another way, I will help you. You know what I mean? There's nothing benefiting for me, but hey, what's wrong with me doing that? I'm just, it's not that I'm being nice. It's just like, hey, dude, if I have the resources to help you elevate yourself, why not? Why not offer them, right? Anyways, that was a phenomenal episode. Again, one of the top ones out of my list right now, most viewing and YouTube and then Spotify. And then the last one I did was with Matthew Villegas, former sheriff. We talked about mental health. That episode was like, whoa. On that one, I got more feedback. More people reach out to me thanking me for having a guest that made them feel like they were not alone, because it's a sensitive subject, mental health, and not only that, but it's just a lot of people really resonated with that. A lot of people felt that they were not alone. A lot of people were like, shit, he's taking 8 bars. I'm only taking 1, how does he do it, Xanax, medicine, that's what I mean by 8 bars or 1 bar, like 1 pill or 8 pills, whatever. And and now being a ODA counselor and helping those that are in need, so his story is phenomenal to us. Well, the second one, and that's where the journey is going right now. And I have others guests in the works too. I just gotta set a date where accommodates them and accommodates my sponsors too as well. But in the meantime, I'll be doing this one-on-one with you guys. But yeah, I mean, that's the goal, guys. I'm picking up from my left off from Backroad Journey Podcast to now being Live Life Podcast with Jose. I love Junior. I love that podcast. The podcast always going to be here in my heart. I love Junior. I know we haven't spoken for a while because, again, he's been busy. I've been busy too, but I know that phone works both ways. I'm sorry if I haven't even texted you, brother, but I still love you. Yeah, other than that, he's enjoying life with his wife and traveling and it's just, timing. And I'm glad that I have a good support system, like Juan Avila and Luis from LC1 Productions that believe in my project. And they were the main ones that made this project happen. They were the main ones that gave me the last push to go ahead and move forward with this relaunch of the podcast. And I feel grateful because without them, I don't think I would have taken that extra step, immediately, and now that I have, I feel blessed. I'm happy And I'm just excited. I just can't wait to get into the studio and record my next episode. I can't wait to get to the studio and record my next guest, and it's just, I just gotta set the dates, god damn it, but I'm working on it. But guys, I feel blessed. I always say to yourself, surround yourself with good-minded people, and people that believe in you. A lot of people are always gonna believe in you to their own benefit. A lot of people are gonna hate on you. They're gonna be your best friend, but at the end of the day, they're just waiting for you to fail, right? And you'll know right away who's that individual, guys. So just be mindful of that. Everybody's gonna hate on you, and only few are gonna believe in your dream. Like Aaron, my boy Aaron. So, dude, I'm excited about you. What you gotta do. I'm all about supporting. He never once hesitated to say no to me or think about it. Oh, let me think about it. He was right away. Hell yeah, I'll be on your podcast, bro. And I was like, dude, and for him to tell me, I saw when you told me why you wanted to do it. I saw that you were serious. I was like, let's do it. And for him to say that to me, that meant the world for me. And also to Matt, for him to say that to me as well. And it's just like, man, so and getting feedback from everybody, it's not easy doing a podcast if you don't have the good support system. Sometimes even if you do have the good support system, but you don't have the resources, it's not as easy, Even if you just record an audio, it's still there's still the ins and outs of how to upload it, how to do this. Oh, I gotta edit this. It's time consuming, but you gotta fall in love with the process so it's not boring for you when you're doing it. It gets more excited because you just can't wait to release it, And that's the way it is with me, I love it. I'm gonna be able to edit this for a little bit, Who knows? I don't think I'm gonna be able to edit, but the only thing editing I'm gonna do is just add the intro song. But other than that, I'm excited for you guys to see my next guest. I'm just I'm blessed, blessed to have a good production team. Excuse me, like Juan and LC1. And I want to thank all my guests that came out on the previous, Aaron, Drew, Andres, and Matthew. Thank you guys for believing in me. Thank you guys for being my guest. Thank you guys for helping me relaunch my podcast and taking the direction that I wanted, that I visioned for a while, and I know where it's going. Thank you guys. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. With that being said, guys, I want to share something with you guys. Something very, very sensitive, not sensitive in a bad way, but something that happened last Friday. Last Friday there was an accident on Laurel, where a gentleman in a motorcycle passed away. Right. And it turns out that Friday evening, I came to find out that I knew that gentleman. I knew who that gentleman was. And obviously, some of you guys heard that, he worked at UPS in Salinas, California, and that he got off of work and he was on his way home and unfortunately got into an accident with another car and he passed away. So I got the privilege to know this individual. And I think for the past 5 years, I got to know him. And I saw something right there. I saw something move in the kitchen or something. Anyways, I got privileged to know him, and it was a great individual. He will always drop off my UPS packages at 10 and then pick up my UPS packages at 4 p.m., And I think I was one of his last stops of the day. I'm not sure if I was. But we always had a conversation like, hey, bro, I'm dropping you off one. Oh, just one, bro. Hey, bro, I'm missing two. Oh, let me look at the van. Oh, yeah, bro, I'll bring them to you later. They're in another van or they're in the warehouse, whatever. Really cool guy, Danny. And then my last conversation with him was on Thursday, So, hey, bro, just one? I'm like, yeah, bro, just one. Easy day, huh? He's like, yeah, it's pretty easy today. I was like, nice. And he's like, all right, bro, I'll see you tomorrow. And my response to him was like, nah, bro, I'll see you Monday. Kind of whispering. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to be here tomorrow. I'm like, nah, I'm going to LA. I'm going to go with my wife real quick to, run an errand, come back. But I'll see you Monday. He's like, all right, bro, I'll see you Monday, And who would have known that was going to be the last conversation I had with them, And unfortunately, he passed away on that accident. How did that happen? I read so many stories of what this and that, and right now the big blame is on him, right? But I don't believe he had blame on it. I believe that it was just destiny, destiny, and that's why I always say to you guys, live life to the fullest. hug your loved ones, do what we gotta do the day, don't live it into the next day, because you never know. The only two things we got guarantee in life is your taxes and debt. That's the only two things we got guarantee in life, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and share their GoFundMe link. So just feel free to click on the GoFundMe link, guys, or go to my Instagram page and go to my bio and click on the GoFundMe page and just donate something, $1, $2, whatever you want to donate. Apparently his wife was pregnant, on the fourth child, and beautiful family, and unfortunately, in times like this, they need all the help they can get, and I will appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart if you guys go in there and donate. I'm gonna go ahead and share the link on my bio on Instagram, and then if I can't figure out how to put it on my YouTube, I don't think they don't let me do it on YouTube, but I'll do it on Spotify on the description. So feel free to click the link, and just donate. With that being said, guys, hug your loved ones, tell everybody you love them, and enjoy life, guys. Enjoy life. Life's so beautiful, and we take it for granted, guys. But anyways, before I end this episode, I want to go ahead and thank my sponsors, Juan Avila Photography. Guys, if you guys are looking for a phenomenal headshot, a headshot that's gonna level you up on your business cards, on your web page, on your Instagram, LinkedIn page, or whatever you want to put it professional, even on the billboard or somewhere, Juan Avila is your guy to go to. Really easy to work with. I highly recommend him. Let him know that I sent you. Hey, you know what? Jose from Live Life Podcast recommended me you. He'll take care of you, dude. Right? And then if you're that individual that is looking for a commercial, or you want to do reels, but you know how to do reels, or you want professional video for your commercial that you can use on social media or anything, LC1 Productions is your guy to go to. The guy is phenomenal. He does shooting video on everything he does. He's your number one guy too. Top quality equipment, guys. All right, over $1 million of equipment those guys have in their freaking studio, guys. Like, they don't use fucking whack, like, second or third hand equipment. They use high tech equipment. You know what I mean? I'm using a phone right now to record this episode, but they use fucking good stuff. So I mean, guys, just don't be afraid to invest, and you guys will love it, not regret it, guys. I guarantee you. So shout out to both of my sponsors. And you know what? I'm gonna give a little bit of a promo to my boy Aaron Palacios. If you guys are looking to rebuild anything in your house, you want to rebuild your kitchen, you want to add new floor or tile to your kitchen, or add wood floor to your living room, or you just want to tear down the whole house and rebuild it up again, Aaron Palacios from Precision Estimating or Precision Construction is your guy to go to. He is licensed. Okay, guys, he's not your regular guy that you find at Home Depot. He'll do it under the table. No, he is fully licensed. He knows what to do. He has good relationships with the city of Salinas to get in all the right paperwork, documentation, permits to get your house done the way you want it. If it's either remaking the garage, is either doing a new ceiling, or I want a big old chandelier, or I want freaking graphics and all that, he's your guy to go to, guys. So hit him up on Precision Construction on Instagram, or if you want to reach out to him, shoot me a DM and I'll shoot you his information. Again, you guys, another promo I'm gonna do for my boy Matthew is that if you guys need someone to talk to, men's mental health is no joke, guys. If you guys need someone to talk to, you're suffering from addiction or something, then you don't want to go you don't want to go to a rehab center, but you want to talk to somebody, Matthew Villegas, my boy, will be there to help you out. Reach out to me, or if you know somebody that's going through the struggles, reach out to me. I'll connect you with them, and then he'll take it from there. Other than that, guys, man, thank you for your support, continued support. I can't wait for you guys to see what other guests that I have coming in. I love you guys. Stay blessed. Peace.